Another year gone. Just like that, you blinked and it vanished. The calendar changed, but you didn't. The same goals, the same promises, the same empty motivation sitting in the corner of your mind collecting dust. You said last year was going to be your year. You said you were going to start that business, get in shape, fix your habits, cut off distractions, become the man you know you could be. And yet here you are in the exact same position, telling yourself the same story again. This time, I'll do it. But you won't. Because if you were going to, you already would have look around you. Nothing has changed. You wake up the same way, scroll through your phone the same way, waste the same hours doing things that don't matter. You've convinced yourself that staying busy is the same as moving forward. But you're not moving. You're on a treadmill running, sweating, exhausted, yet going nowhere. You're working just hard enough to feel like you're doing something, but not disciplined enough to actually change anything. This is the brutal truth. Most men can't handle your life is exactly what you've tolerated. Every excuse, every delay, every distraction, that's what built your current reality. You didn't turn up here by accident. You chose it day after day through your inaction. And the worst part, you probably think you have more time. You think another year will fix everything. You think you'll start when you feel ready. But the clock doesn't care about your feelings. Time doesn't wait for your confidence, your motivation, or your perfect plan. It just moves quietly, relentlessly. And it's taking everything from you one day at a time. Look back at the last 12 months. Be honest. What did you actually build? What habits did you master? What progress did you make toward the man you said you wanted to become? Most men avoid that question because they know the answer hurts. It's easier to pretend that progress is coming than to admit that you've been lying to yourself. You tell people you're working on it, but deep down, you know you're not. You're comfortable pretending to care more than you actually do every day. You wake up with a chance to change your story, and every day you choose comfort over growth. You hit snooze instead of hitting the gym. You waste hours scrolling instead of building. You keep talking about potential like it's an achievement. But potential means nothing if you never act on it. The world doesn't care about what you could be. It only respects what you've done. The sad truth is, you're not tired because you've been grinding. You're tired because you've been avoiding the work that matters. You're drained from living below your potential, from fighting battles with no meaning, from knowing you could do more, but choosing not to. You've normalized mediocrity. You've made peace with average. And every time you tell yourself, next year, you bury your greatness a little deeper. Think about it. If you had started 1 year ago, where would you be now? If you had stuck with your goals, built discipline, and stopped wasting time, you'd already be living the life you're still daydreaming about. But instead, you spend another year watching, not doing, talking, not building, hoping, not acting. And that's why nothing changes. Because the truth is, time doesn't reward intention, it rewards execution. You say you want success, but you still act like you have infinite tomorrows. You waste hours on distractions that give you nothing back. You complain about your situation, but protect the very habits that created it. You keep saying, "Oh, one day," as if life owes you a second chance. It doesn't. You only get one. One stretch of time, and it's running out faster than you think. You've wasted enough years waiting for the perfect moment. But perfection doesn't exist. There will never be a day when you wake up and feel ready. There will never be a moment when the stars align and the fear disappears. You have to move now, messy, scared, uncertain, because time doesn't pause for your hesitation. Every year you waste takes a piece of you with it. The truth is, most men won't change until they're forced to, until the pain of staying the same becomes unbearable. But by then, it's too late. Regret is heavier than failure, and one day you'll look back and realize you traded your potential for comfort. You'll realize that time didn't take your dreams, you gave them away. The year didn't disappear. You did. Next year, those two words have destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Every man who stays stuck clings to them like a shield, a false promise that tomorrow will somehow be different. But tomorrow is a lie. It's a convenient fantasy that keeps you comfortable where you are. You keep telling yourself you'll start next week, next month, next year. When you have more time, More energy, more money, more clarity. But let's be honest, haven't you been saying that for years? And every time you do, you're feeding the illusion that progress is waiting for you just around the corner, when in reality, it's slipping further away. The lie of next year feels comforting because it gives you permission to stay lazy today. It allows you to delay pain. You convince yourself that rest is preparation, that waiting is strategy, that procrastination is patience. But deep down, you know it's fear. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of committing fully and finding out that maybe you're not as capable as you thought. So instead of facing that fear, you hide behind next year. It's easier to believe in a future version of yourself than to demand something from the man you are right now. Comfort is seductive because it feels safe. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the right time, but the right time never comes. There is no perfect alignment of motivation, opportunity, and energy. There is only the choice to start or the choice to stay still. And every time you choose stillness, you reinforce weakness. Every time you delay, you teach your brain that excuses are acceptable. You train yourself to live small. You've built a life that protects you from discomfort, but that same comfort is killing your ambition. You've padded your days with routine, entertainment, and distraction so you don't have to feel the sting of your wasted potential. You've built comfort around you like a fortress, but that fortress is a prison. It keeps you safe, yes, but it also keeps you average. And average is not what you were built for. Think about how many times you've said, "This year will be different." You meant it every time, didn't you? You made plans, wrote goals, maybe even started strong for a few days or weeks. But the first time things got difficult, you fell back into comfort. You went back to the old habits, the old mindset, the old life that never gave you anything but regret. Because comfort doesn't demand accountability. Comfort whispers, "It's okay, you'll try again later." But later never comes. Time doesn't care about your promises. It doesn't care about your intentions. Every day you spend in comfort is a day stolen from the man you could have become. That's the real cost of next year. It's not just the loss of time, it's the loss of identity. Every day you stay still, you reinforce the idea that this is who you are. You stop dreaming big because it hurts too much to admit that you're not moving toward those dreams. So you shrink them. You start aiming lower, convincing yourself that it's maturity when it's really fear dressed up as logic. Comfort has become your drug. It gives you small doses of satisfaction, the short hit of scrolling, the temporary relief of saying, "I'll start tomorrow." But like every addiction, it keeps you dependent. It promises peace but delivers emptiness. You wake up each day a little more numb, a little more stuck, a little less alive. You tell yourself you're fine, but deep down, you know something's missing. That's not depression, that's your potential suffocating under the weight of your excuses. The lie of next year isn't just about time, it's about self-deception. It's how the weak man convinces himself that he's still in control while surrendering everything that could make him powerful. The truth is, every time you say, "I'll start later," you're practicing the art of quitting before you even begin. You're training your subconscious to accept delay as a lifestyle. You've turned procrastination into a personality trait. The reason you're still in the same place isn't because you lack opportunity. It's because you've mistaken comfort for success. You've confused feeling safe with being strong, but nothing grows in safety. Every man who ever built something great did so by stepping directly into discomfort, by abandoning the lie of next year, and by choosing action now. Because action is the only thing that kills fear. You're not stuck because of circumstances. You're stuck because you've made peace with waiting. You've made waiting your default response to every challenge. You keep telling yourself the story of someday, but someday isn't real. It's the ghost of wasted time. And the longer you feed it, the weaker you become. The lie of next year has you trapped in a loop, and you won't break free until you admit that there's no such thing as the perfect moment, only the decision to move. Now, even when you don't feel ready, every man thinks he has time. That's the greatest illusion. You wake up each morning assuming you've got another day to waste, another chance to start later, another opportunity waiting somewhere down the line. But time doesn't wait. It doesn't care about your excuses, your distractions, or your comfort. It's slipping through your fingers every second you spend doing nothing. The clock doesn't pause for your laziness or your fear. It just keeps ticking, quietly taking everything you have left. You might think staying the same is safe, but it's the most expensive decision you'll ever make. Every year you spend in the same place, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, is a year you'll never get back. The older you get, the more brutally you'll feel at the regret of knowing that the man you could have been is gone forever, not because of tragedy or bad luck, but because you chose to stand still. You traded time for comfort, and comfort gave you nothing in return. The truth is, time is the only real currency you have. Money can be earned back. Opportunities can come again. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. Yet most people spend it like it's infinite. They treat their time like it's cheap, scrolling through nonsense, chasing temporary pleasure, waiting for motivation that never comes. They act like the clock on the wall isn't counting down to their own deadline. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Every wasted hour is a piece of your life you've burned away for nothing. You think staying the same protects you, but what it really does is decay you slowly. The man who doesn't grow doesn't just remain unchanged, he starts to rot. His spirit dulls, his confidence fades, his fire dies out. You stop believing in yourself because every day you see proof that you're not moving forward. That's the cost of staying the same. It's not just lost time, it's the slow erosion of your identity. You begin to accept less, tolerate weakness, and convince yourself that this dull, repetitive life is what being an adult means. But deep down, you know it's not. You know you were built for more. Every man has two lives, the one he's living and the one he's capable of living. And the distance between those two lives is measured in wasted time. Think about the moments you've lost to hesitation, the months you've spent planning instead of acting, the years you've spent thinking about changing without ever doing it. That's the real cost. It's not just about money or status. It's about the experiences you'll never have, the pride you'll never feel, the strength you'll never develop because you refuse to move. Time punishes indecision. It rewards action. The universe doesn't care about your potential. It only responds to what you do. You can spend your entire life telling yourself you're capable of greatness. But if you never act, that greatness stays locked inside you forever. And the cruel thing is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Momentum works both ways. Just as success builds on success, hesitation builds on hesitation. Every day you don't act, you make it easier to do nothing tomorrow. That's how men waste decades without realizing it, not in one big mistake, but in thousands of tiny delays. Look around you. The years are flying. The faces you knew are older now. The world has moved on, and yet you're still standing where you were. You told yourself you'd be further by now, stronger, richer, more disciplined, but time doesn't slow down just because you're behind. It keeps moving with or without you. And the cruelest part, you don't even feel the loss day by day. It's subtle. You blink and suddenly 5 years are gone. The same routine, the same thoughts, the same habits. You can't point to one big decision that ruined it. It's the small ones you made every single day. The decision to stay comfortable. The decision to wait. The decision to waste time. The price of staying the same is your future. You're paying for it right now with every hour you spend doing things that don't build you, don't challenge you, don't move you closer to who you're meant to be. You think you're buying peace, but you're buying regret. One day you'll wake up and realize the time you thought you had left is gone. And when that day comes, no amount of money, power, or apology will buy it back. That's the debt every lazy man pays, not in dollars, but in lost years. If you truly understood how little time you have, you'd live differently. You'd stop wasting your mornings, your weekends, your potential. You'd stop trading your best years for comfort. You'd realize that every day you waste is a day stolen from your legacy, from your health, from your greatness. Time doesn't forgive, and it doesn't give refunds. The cost of staying the same is everything you could have been, everything you still could be if only you stopped waiting and started moving before the clock runs out. Every man loves the feeling of motivation. That rush when you watch a powerful video, hear an inspiring story, or look in the mirror and think, this time, I'm gonna change. For a moment, It feels like everything's possible, but motivation is a liar. It whispers big promises in your ear, then disappears the moment life gets uncomfortable. Motivation is like a spark, bright, loud, exciting, but it dies the second the wind blows. And if you've spent your life chasing motivation, that's why you're still in the same place. Because you've been chasing sparks instead of learning how to build a fire. Discipline is what separates men who talk from men who transform. Motivation gives you excitement, but discipline gives you results. The truth is, most men don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they only act when they feel like it. And the problem with feelings is that they change every hour. You can't build a powerful life on something that's unreliable. You can't depend on emotion to carry you through discomfort. The real transformation begins the moment you act without feeling like it. That's where men are forged in silence, in repetition, in the boring moments when no one is watching and there's no applause coming. The man who waits for motivation is the man who will always wait. He'll spend his whole life looking for the right mood to begin. He'll tell himself he's tired today, that tomorrow he'll be ready, that he just needs a break, a little more energy, a little more inspiration. But tomorrow never comes. And even if it does, that same weakness will show up again the next day. Motivation doesn't build consistency, discipline does. Discipline is waking up early when your body begs for more sleep. It's training when you're sore, working when you're uninspired, grinding when nobody claps. It's the quiet contract between you and the man you're trying to become. You see, discipline doesn't care about your emotions. It doesn't need hype. It doesn't need music. It doesn't need a reason. It's a decision, simple and final. Every time you choose discipline, you take back control of your life. You stop being a slave to comfort and start becoming a master of your own time. Because comfort is easy, discipline is rare. Comfort is for the man who wants to feel good now. Discipline is for the man who wants to feel proud forever. The reason you've wasted years is because you've mistaken motivation for movement. You get that surge of energy, you plan everything out, you buy the equipment, maybe even start for a few days, but as soon as the excitement fades, so does your effort. And then you quit thinking something's wrong with you. But nothing's wrong with you. You're just addicted to motivation and you never learned the power of discipline. Motivation gets you started once. Discipline gets you started every day. When you look at the most successful, most powerful men, they're not driven by constant excitement. They're driven by habit. They don't rely on how they feel. They've built systems. They've made hard work their default. They've made pain normal. They've made progress automatic. Because they understand that the man who wins isn't the one who's the most inspired. It's the one who shows up no matter what, every single day. You have to understand that discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. The man who has discipline can do anything. He's free from mood swings, from excuses, from delay. He doesn't need to feel ready because he's already decided that readiness doesn't matter. That's real power. That's real masculinity. Most people will never experience that kind of control because they're addicted to comfort. They think discipline means deprivation, but it's the opposite, it's liberation. When you can control yourself, you can control your life. You've spent too long waiting for that perfect surge of energy to begin, that magical feeling that tells you, now is the time. But the truth is that feeling never lasts. The world doesn't reward motivation, it rewards momentum. Every rep you push when you're tired, every hour you work when it's inconvenient, every small act of consistency builds a kind of internal strength that no one can take from you. That's what separates you from the man who says, maybe next year discipline doesn't care about comfort because comfort is temporary. You can't chase the feeling of ease and expect to find greatness. The road to power, wealth, and purpose isn't lined with motivation, it's lined with repetition. The man who shows up daily, even when he doesn't want to, builds a kind of unshakable identity. He doesn't rely on luck or emotion, he relies on himself. And when life hits him, he doesn't crumble. He doesn't say, I'll start again when I feel ready. He just moves. Because he's built movement into his nature. So when you look at your life and wonder why nothing's changing, ask yourself, have you been disciplined? Or have you just been waiting to feel motivated? Because if you've been waiting for motivation, you've already lost. You're stuck in the same place, not because life's unfair, but because you've refused to do the work when you didn't feel like it. And until you learn that discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become, you'll stay standing at the same side of that bridge, watching time pass and wondering why nothing ever changes. Every man thinks his greatest battles are fought against the world, against his boss, against society, against bad luck, against the people who doubt him. But the truth is, your real enemy isn't out there. It's right here inside your own head. It's the quiet voice that tells you to rest when you should rise, the whisper that says, "You've done enough for today," when you've barely started. It's the constant negotiation with comfort that kills more potential than failure ever could. The war isn't between you and the world, it's between who you are and who you're supposed to become. Comfort is your most dangerous enemy because it doesn't attack loudly. It doesn't demand your attention. It seduces you. It shows up disguised as peace, disguised as rest, disguised as balance. It tells you you've earned a break, that you've worked hard enough, that you deserve to slow down. But every time you listen, you lose a little more of yourself. Every time you surrender to comfort, you give up a piece of your edge. And slowly, without realizing it, you become weaker, softer, slower. That's how comfort destroys men, not through pain, but through ease. The modern world feeds that comfort. Every screen, every app, every cheap dopamine hit is designed to make you forget your purpose. You think you're relaxing, but you're actually numbing yourself. You scroll, you watch, you eat, you repeat. You drown your fire under a sea of distractions. You tell yourself it's harmless, just one more video, one more hour of rest. But these are not harmless moments. They're the invisible chains that keep you ordinary. The world wants you addicted, compliant, distracted. Because a distracted man is a controlled man, and that's exactly what most men have become, slaves to comfort and distraction. They wake up tired, reach for their phone before they've even opened their eyes fully, feed their mind with nonsense, and then wonder why they feel empty. Their lives are consumed by things that give them pleasure, but take their power. You can't chase comfort and purpose at the same time. They live on opposite sides of the same road. One leads to mediocrity, the other to mastery. And every day, with every small choice, you're deciding which path you're walking. The mind is a battlefield. And every day you're losing ground to comfort because you've stopped fighting. You've made peace with the enemy. You've stopped challenging yourself, stopped holding yourself to the standard you once dreamed of. You've told yourself that this version of you, the tired, distracted, halfway trying version is enough. But you know it's not. You know you're capable of more. You just forgot what it feels like to demand more from yourself. You need to understand that the enemy within doesn't disappear. You don't conquer it once and move on. You fight it daily. Every time you choose the easy path, you feed it. Every time you delay action, you strengthen it. But every time you resist comfort, every time you push through boredom, every time you silence that voice of weakness, you take back ground. That's the silent war, the battle between comfort and progress, between distraction and focus, between who you are and who you could be. Distraction has turned into the new form of slavery. You might not be chained physically, but your attention is chained. Every second your mind is consumed by noise, you lose the power to think deeply, to act decisively, to build something real. The men who win in life are not the smartest, they're the ones who have mastered their attention. They know when to shut out the world, when to focus, when to go to war with their own weakness. They don't allow their mind to be hijacked by every shiny, meaningless thing that passes by. You have to take your power back from comfort and distraction. You have to rewire your brain to crave challenge, to crave growth, to crave the uncomfortable. Because growth only exists in discomfort. Strength is born in struggle. Every time you choose the hard thing, you're training your mind to serve you, not enslave you. You're teaching yourself to lead instead of follow. The most dangerous man is the one who controls his own attention. The man who can sit in silence, the man who can resist the easy path, the man who can say no to distraction. That man is unstoppable because he's not ruled by impulses. He's not controlled by pleasure. He's controlled by purpose. But to reach that point, you have to fight the enemy within every single day. You have to wake up and decide, today, I'm not giving in. You have to choose to stay alert, to stay sharp, to to stay hungry even when your environment tells you to relax. Every moment you spend distracted is a moment stolen from your potential. Every comfort you indulge in without discipline is another wall between you and greatness. And that's what most men never understand. They think they've got time to fix it later. But distraction compounds like debt. Every small moment wasted adds up until one day you look around and realize you've lost years of your life to nothing. That's the real tragedy, not failure, but a life that slowly fades into comfort until it disappears completely. There comes a moment in every man's life when he looks around and realizes time isn't slowing down for him anymore. The opportunities that once felt endless are shrinking. The energy he thought would always be there doesn't hit the same. The people he grew up with are moving on, building things, becoming someone, while he's still stuck in the same routine. Telling himself, "I'll start soon." But soon has already passed. The clock isn't waiting. Life isn't pausing. Every second you waste is a second stolen from the future you could have had. The problem is, most men think they'll always have time. They live like they're immortal, like there's always another chance, another restart, another tomorrow. But the truth is harsh. There comes a day when there are no more tomorrows. A day when the chances you thought were waiting for you are gone forever. You don't get a warning. You just wake up one morning and realize that the time you thought you had is no longer yours to spend. And that realization hits harder than any failure ever could. Because failure hurts for a moment, but regret stays for life. You see, regret isn't loud at first. It's quiet. It starts small. What if? Maybe I should have. Next time. But as the years go by, those whispers turn into screams. You start seeing men who took action, who refused to waste time, who built something real, and you realize that could have been you. The only difference between you and them is that they moved when you hesitated. They acted when you waited. They fought when you rested. Regret doesn't come from losing. It comes from never fighting in the first place. If you're watching this right now, understand this: your future is being written with every choice you make today. You don't drift into greatness. You don't stumble into success. You build it moment by moment, decision by decision. And every time you delay, every time you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you're not standing still, you're moving backward. Because the world keeps moving, opportunities keep shifting, and someone else is taking the spot you were meant to fill. Every minute you waste is someone else's advantage. You need to stop living like you have time to spare. You don't. You're not too early in life to start, and you're not too late to change, but you are too comfortable to grow. You keep waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for permission, but no one's coming to save you. No one's gonna hand you the life you dream about. You have to go out there and take it. You have to wake up every single morning and remind yourself that your time is running out, not to scare yourself, but to sharpen yourself. Because urgency is power. Urgency creates focus, and focus creates results. Every successful man you admire once stood where you are: uncertain, unmotivated, full of doubt. The only difference is that they didn't wait to feel ready. They understood that life rewards action, not intention. They stopped wasting time wondering how it would all work out and started building piece by piece, day by day. That's how greatness is made, not through massive leaps, but through consistent motion. You don't need to know every step, you just need to move. You've already wasted enough years thinking about it, planning for it, dreaming of it. You've said, next year will be my year, too many times. But what if this year was your last chance to make it happen? What if this is the year that decides whether you spend the rest of your life fulfilled or full of regret? You can't keep living like time is infinite. You can't keep saying, one day is now. Every year you wait is another year gone. Every delay is another dream buried. The longer you wait to start, the harder it becomes to change. Momentum works both ways. You either build strength or build stagnation. And right now, every day you delay is momentum against you. You think the pain of discipline is hard. Wait until you feel the pain of regret. Regret doesn't fade. It doesn't heal with time. It grows. It eats away at you slowly, reminding you of every chance you didn't take, every time you stayed comfortable instead of courageous. You'll see younger men with less talent surpass you, not because they were smarter or luckier, but because they moved. Because they didn't waste another year talking about what they wanted, they went after it. You have to understand that action doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Action creates the perfect moment. The man who moves now, despite fear, despite uncertainty, will always outrun the man who waits for clarity. The future belongs to the bold, not the best, not the brightest, not the lucky, but the bold. Because boldness builds experience, and experience builds mastery. You can't learn by waiting. You learn by doing. You grow by failing, by adjusting, by trying again and again until success becomes the only option left. This is your wake-up call. The year you're living right now will never come again. The days slipping by will never return. You've already lost too much time to hesitation. You've already given enough of your life to comfort and distraction. You've been preparing long enough. You've been dreaming long enough. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is whether you'll ever stop wasting time and rise now, before the years you've been throwing away become the very thing you wish you could buy back. Every man watching this needs to understand one truth: life isn't waiting for you. The clock is running right now, this very second. Every heartbeat is a reminder that you're one step closer to the finish line, whether you move forward or not. You've spent enough time hoping, enough time planning, enough time promising yourself that someday you'll become the man you were meant to be. But someday is a thief. It's stolen your dreams, your potential, and your peace. And the only way to take it back is through action, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, but now. You've heard every excuse your mind could invent: not enough time, not enough money, not enough clarity, not enough motivation. But look at where those excuses have left you. They've given you nothing but more of the same. They've kept you stuck, safe, small. And deep down, you know that safety is an illusion. The longer you stay in comfort, the more your fire dies. You weren't built to live a quiet, average life. You were built to conquer, to create, to lead. But you can't lead anything if you can't lead yourself. Discipline, not motivation, is the bridge between who you are and who you could be. You've learned that comfort is not peace, it's decay. You've seen that the biggest enemy isn't the world, but the voice inside your head that keeps telling you to wait. You've realized that every second you waste is another piece of your life slipping away. And the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to push you. It's on you, your hands, your will, your choices. The time for hesitation is gone. The time for excuses is over. There's no magic moment waiting somewhere in the future. The only moment you have is this one, right here, right now. The world rewards action, not intention. You don't need another plan, you need to move. You don't need another motivational quote, you need to make a decision, because one day, when your time runs out, you won't care about the comfort you chased or the distractions you indulged in. You'll care about the moments you stood tall, the risks you took, the pain you endured, and the life you from nothing. That's what legacy is. And legacy doesn't happen by accident, it happens by choice. So ask yourself, right now, are you going to let another year slip by, another dream fade, another version of yourself die? Or are you finally going to rise? Because at the end of your life, there will be only two kinds of men: those who waited and those who acted. And the difference between them is everything.